Wolfpack Nation. We are back here for part two, y'all, of our interview here with Reshunda here from our Alumni Association here. If you haven't checked out part one yet, make sure to go and do that first and foremost, and then come right back here so we could pick up right where we left off. So Reshunda, one of the first things that you would kind of mention there to end up part one is the Day of Giving. Just like you said, over 16,000 different gifts given. And I know it was a record-breaking day for sure. You know, Chancellor Woodson, gave his awesome video of him playing the guitar and be like, oh, hello, and I loved it. And it just goes back to show. I love Chancellor Woodson. I know it's kind of funny. My wife, she's a South Carolina grad. And so for them, they have a president, but we have a chancellor. So we always kind of come to a funny agreement saying, well, state has the best chancellor, but maybe South Carolina has the best president.
No,
so,
period. We have the best chancellor, president. We have it, period.
There we go, Reshunda. I love it. See, I agree, but with my wife, we got to meet in the middle and be like, okay, well, fine. I have the best chancellor. So,
but I'll say it for you. I'll say it for you.
I appreciate it, Reshunda. I appreciate it. Yeah. So, kind of tell me a little bit more in terms of, just to kind of remind fans in terms of the numbers of how much was given. Because obviously we talked about, 16,000 gifts, but was there a dollar figure to that 16,000 gifts as well?
Yes, we raised about $34 million all across campus from our various colleges, our university priorities to our scholarship programs. So yes, $34 million. 16,000 gifts. It was definitely a memorable experience. And, the beauty of it, it was campus-wide.
Did you have goals or expectations for the Day of Giving? I mean, like, where did this meet in terms of with your expectations going into it?
Well, for me, it met all of my expectations and then some. But from the financial part of it, this was the second highest, I believe, Day of Giving on record. I may have to, it was among the highest. I may not have all of the numbers because this was our 5th year of doing the NC State Day of Giving. This was definitely a record in the number of gifts for us. And I also believe it was a record in the number of gifts made online in a single day. So in our minds, number one, it's a win when we can come together as a community and celebrate NC State. That's a win by itself. And to your point, having the chancellor involved, having the deans around the colleges, having athletics, all of us coming together from around the world celebrating NC State, that's the other win. And the added bonus is the fact that there are more financial resources from new donors, existing donors giving to NC State to really allow us do what we do best, which is, educate and achieve the mission of NC State.
And I'm sure, I don't know how much feedback you've gotten, but I am very curious. I mean, I know that you are kind of talking in the first part about why it's important and, to be involved and, donating, things like that. But for maybe some of the new people who donated during the Day of Giving, did you ever get any feedback in terms of why they got involved in this recent Day of Giving? Obviously we've gotten to new numbers for reasons where not only just the people who already were donating continue to give, but also too, I'm sure we got a lot of new people that donate as well. So maybe just from the new people who donated, did you get any kind of feedback to kind of help, our listeners who haven't donated to kind of understand why it's even more impactful to get involved?
Yes. I believe we're still getting feedback from the information shared, the notes that we've received, and just the comments through all the different channels that we've used to really communicate the message. But from my perspective, one of the reasons why I think Day of Giving is so successful is really because of our alumni volunteers and the alums who are out there reaching out to their friends, reaching out to their classmates. And I in my role, yes, I want to make sure all NC State alumni and friends support the institution. That would be great if all 285,000 of us that are out there across the world do that. I may not be that best person to share that message. It may be you, Leighton, and your classmates. And so it's the messenger in the same way as the message. So I think one of the ways that we've started to hear feedback is when alums reach out to people they know in their networks, in their family, in their community to kind of do this is why I give back and you should too. And I think once people hear like, oh, I should, and this is how easy, and this is what the university needs the money for, and this is what they do. I think the more that we can have, from an actual person on the inside doing the work, sharing that message, I think the more reciprocal or the more apt it is for people to actually, do the call to action and actually make a gift. So that is one of the things. And I do believe that having a moment where everyone comes together and knowing that this is a day. Now, my message is every day is a day of giving for NC State. And so every day that we get a donor to really commit and support financially or through their talents or through their time and coming and volunteering on campus, that is a day of giving. So I recognize that the one day that we really elevated is important. And so that's the message we also want to carry too, is don't wait for the day of giving. Know that NC State need alumni and friends and donors every single day of the year. We just have the one day where we really make a really big deal about it across the country and really, focus on the school and focus on doing it for this one collective moment together.
Okay. And I do want to, because I am curious as well. I know that, for example, like on campus, we just had a recent huge upgrade to the Carmichael gym where it got a huge, huge upgrade. Does the money for that come from the Alumni Association, or is that a different donation, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah.
Bubble or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so there have been a lot of from what I've been shared, and seen. There's been a lot of campus improvements. You mentioned Carmichael Gym, which is a really nice facility, not only for our students but members of our Alumni Association. They benefit from discounts from the membership at Carmichael Gym, so that is an added bonus that we're excited to continue for alums. We certainly Tally Student Union has certainly looks different on campus, and so. Some of that, the funding of it comes from different sources. I will say that while not directly associated or attributed from the Alumni Association, having a strong alumni base that supports the institution will always be a positive factor when it comes to capital improvements across the university. So while not direct, certainly indirect, and having the involvement from alums helps tremendously. And I know there's a lot of future ideas that are in store. There's a lot of, ideas that are floating around. And so we know that as time goes on and as we continue through grow and the investments, not only from the state of North Carolina, but also from our alumni base, I know there's opportunities for us to really continue that growth on the footprint for the campus.
Yeah. So, kind of talking about even the growth of the Alumni Association now as well. What are your goals, over the next, 5 to 10 years in terms of ways to, improve the Alumni Association and the impact that it makes in terms of growing the alumni base?
Yeah. So, I want us to be the premier alumni association across the university. We are NC State. That is where we should be, the number one leading institution, showing how we think and do. And so over the next few years, we want to continue to provide those opportunities that alums would be motivated, inspired, and encouraged in seeing their university grow, but also in giving in a way that is meaningful to them to keep that connection. I spoke, during the earlier session, we talked about that connection. So we would love to see a moment where, all alums come back to celebrate Red and White Week and homecoming. Or a moment where alums are coming back to welcome, not only the entering class of students, but in a few weeks, we'll be celebrating commencement. We want to make sure that those opportunities are there. We want to have a regional network in every major city across the institution. We know there's some big pockets of alums, not only across the state, but really around the world. We are an international institution. And so it'd be great if you are traveling on vacation to Paris and you see, the NC State logo somewhere. How great would that be? And so what does the 100%. Visibility, what can we do to promote and really, have everyone recognize not only for who we are, but for what we do and how we achieve the mission of NC State?
Before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need. Offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flatlands Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flatlands Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flatlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out. And I do want to, because I was doing a little bit of thinking as well, even before we recorded, and because I think that one thing that is huge is getting even the current students, to go ahead and buy in on being involved in Alumni Association. Because I know when I was in state, one thing that was huge for me was for the Student Wolfpack Club. That really kind of brought me into being involved in the Wolfpack Club at an early stage where, it was more of just, kind of understanding what is valued for the Wolfpack Club, but also too, it just made it easy transition that, okay, now you graduate, now you can just transition from Stu Wolfpack Club to the real Wolf, to the full Wolfpack Club. And so, have there been any ideas or ways, that you even have of getting even the student base it's, right now, primed and ready so that way, once they graduate, it's an easy transition to being involved in the Alumni Association?
Yes, and we have a very robust student alumni association that's managed by our Alumni Association student ambassadors. I am in awe of the students. They make me feel like I did not apply myself when I was in school. They are smart, they are active, they are energetic, and they really are intentional about how they see their experience at NC State. It is really remarkable, admiring, and at the same time, I'm like, wow, they make me feel like I just did not apply myself at all. It's the craziest thing, but their energy is infectious. It really is, and so they do host networking events where alums come to campus and students get to do speed networking with them. They host pep rallies to celebrate athletic events. So there's a number of events that our ambassadors do on behalf of the Student Alumni Association that I think bridge the connection. What I would like to see is for our alums to take part in that. That way, when students come on campus, the idea is already implanted in the same way that you shared about the Student Wolfpack Club and how that started that history and that tradition of consistency. So when you graduate, it's kind of it's a natural progression. What I would love for us to continue to do is day one, when the students show up, alums are there. So it's not you're welcoming into the Alumni Association when you turn your tassel or turn your ring. It's no, you are here as a student in NC State, and let me tell you what the Alumni Association does. And this is how we will help you during your 4, 5, and in some cases, maybe 6 years through NC State. Hopefully 4 for the undergrad degree, but even at the graduate degree, what does that look like? And so there are a lot of opportunities that the team is brainstorming on ways that we can make an intentional effort to talk about the Student Alumni Association, the connection to the Alumni Association, but also what that relationship between alum and student look like. And so that's one area. And aside from that, but definitely related, is recent graduates. We have, our students are growing in size. This will be a very big celebration in a few weeks for the class of 2023. And so for us is, what does that look like as our graduates transition into their career, whether they continue their education and pursue graduate degrees? What does that relationship look like? And so that's another focus area for us, because we know that, when you're early in your career, the who you know and what you know, kind of flip in some way. We know that you got this degree from NC State. How do you build your network so that the who you know can help you grow and progress as you see your career growing and progressing? So that's another opportunity 100%. For us with recent grads, both at the undergraduate level. And I don't want to forget the graduate and professional degree as well, because they are members of the community, and we want to be intentional on keeping them engaged, whether they got their master's or their doctorate degree or their doctor of veterinary medicine as well. So there's opportunity for all graduates, honestly. But it starts with day one, just in the example you share with the Student Wolfpack Club.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for me, at least early in the Tuffy Talk days, I actually was on the Alumni Association business profile page where it has all the different businesses owned by in-state alumni. And that's how we actually got our first sponsor, Flatlands Jessup Insurance, who is made up of NC State alum. So, which is great because I mean, it just the networking perspective and, it's worked out beautifully. So, definitely had a lot of impact there. The last thing I want to touch on is the In-State Alumni Association magazine. I know that when we had talked the first time around that we had said that, there's not an overwhelming number of whether you call it subscribers to the magazine or whatever it may be. Do you have any specific goals or, aspirations for that magazine specifically? Just because, I mean, I know I get it, and I have it, downstairs and read it quite often. And so a lot of great content there, but, do you have any, because I know we haven't really talked about that yet. So, I mean, do you have any aspirations for that magazine?
Oh boy, do I. Our award-winning, I have to say, it's award-winning NC State magazine, and it is a fabulous team that really give awesome blood, sweat, and tears, working to make such a great product that represents NC State, the Alumni Association. And I have to say that is one of the areas that is the most sought after when I engage with alums is something about the magazine. So we are really proud, and I am proud on behalf of the team that it is so well respected, well regarded. If you ask me, if someone wins the lottery, I would love for us to endow the magazine so we can send it to 285,000 households. That is probably the part that I am most disappointed is that every alum, we don't have the financial resources to mail it to every single alum. So, since you asked, that would be my wish list, that we be able to send the magazine to every single alum, every issue that comes out each year. The plan right now is really to think thoughtfully, given budget constraints and just knowing that there is a financial cost to expanding the distribution. But that is one of our priorities currently, is finding ways that we can send the magazine to more alums. And so we are going to, over the next few months, really do some pilot surveying, readership surveys, just to find out, who wants to receive the magazine, because not all 285,000 alums may want to receive it. Some people may want to have a digital copy. And especially being at an engineering school with so many assets that we have to our disposal, I'm for one, I would love to see an augmented version where the magazine comes to life using your cell phone, where you're seeing pictures of the articles or, the interviews of the alums or the features that we're profiling. So there's a lot of opportunity with the magazine. If anyone's out there and you have a couple, dollars or gifts that you want to support, that would be one of the top things on my wish list, is to put in place a mechanism so that we can mail it to all of our alums who want the magazine.
Okay. And so for those who are listening that want to, would the best way be going to the magazine website for the Alumni Association?
You can just make a gift to the Impact Fund, alumni.ncsu.edu. That is the budget we use to operate, and that would be the best way to support it. So, yeah.
Perfect. So first of all, Reshunda, thank you so much for your time. I do want to kind of open up. Is there any other last messages that you want to share with our followers here, listeners?
Yes. Oh, there's so many messages that I want to share, but I appreciate you having me on to not only talk about the NC State Alumni Association, but all of the things that are coming up over the next few months with our transition. So I would just share that we need all of our alums. Definitely reach out to us, give us feedback, let us know the ways that you want to be connected with your institution, because to us, that is really what matters, is to make that relationship and that connection as strong as it could be in the ways that matter to each of you. And definitely follow us on all of our social media channels. Reach out to us via the website, alumni.ncsu.edu. Email us, give us feedback, because it's only as good as we are only as good as the information we receive, and we want to be as best as we can for our alums. So the feedback and the information and the connections certainly matter. So thank you for giving me that, and for sure, go Pack.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, no, again, definitely. I actually want to take that last clip right there and put it out separately, just to, as kind of a call to action to all of our followers to get involved, to check this out for sure. So really do appreciate your time. Reshunda, definitely go Wolfpack Nation, check them out. Again, it's so important to be involved and not only just support, from a donation or from a representation perspective, but even to, supporting, our school from the student athletes, to recent alums, however much you can get involved, if you're an alumni or even just a big fan, even to however much you can get involved. I know from myself, I would be, it would be hugely impactful and just make me even more proud of this fan base, which is so amazing, Wolfpack Nation for sure. But and then again, Rial, from our side, definitely, if you haven't already, again, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you're notified all your devices whenever we go live with any new NC State Tuffy Talk content, whether it's through our live streams, our watch parties, our episodes, whatever it may be. We got some exciting plans coming up here that we're so excited to unveil to you. If you enjoyed this conversation, hit that like button and give us a follow. Tuffy Talk now on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We will talk to you soon. As always, go Pack, y'all.
Go Pack.